Hey guys, Franchise here with Franchise80s.com. Thanks again for joining me on another one of my videos. Today's video that I bring you is going to be about high-end toy collecting. I told you guys in some of my other videos about how some of these toys and collectibles could be worth more than or appreciate more than gold and other precious metals. Even can appreciate more than some stocks. Sometimes it's better than playing the stock market. So I wanted to bring you some examples today of some of the high-end toys I have found for sale on eBay. A lot of these toys you can see, I know some people might think, well, that's what they're asking for them. But no, I've done my research, and some of these toys have sold for this much, and people are asking this much, but they're also selling for this much. If you go to sold or completed listings under eBay, I have a video on how to properly search on eBay. You could see what things are actually really going for, not just what people are asking for them. So all of these that I'm about to show you, I've verified that they have sold for this or even more money in the past. So Mattel for the Masters of the Universe toy line, and he is nicknamed the Wonder Bread He-Man. Some people call him the Savage He-Man or the Conan He-Man. Nobody really knows where this action figure actually came from. Everybody has their myths and beliefs of how people acquired this action figure. Mattel doesn't have an official statement on it. But the character is of Wondar, and that is He-Man of the future in the Masters of the Universe storyline. And this figure was a lot of people believe this figure was released through a promotion through Wonder Bread, where on the back of some of the Wonder Bread packages you could send away for this figure by sending in a certain amount of money and the proofs of purchase from the Wonder Bread. And then you would get this as a special mail-away promotion. So people believe that this is somehow a mail-away promotion, period, because Mattel never released this figure on store shelves. So it was either that, or people believe it was part of a buy 3 get 1 free promotion by a toy company back east that was contracting through Mattel. But nobody really knows for sure. My Wonder Bread He-Man right here. Now, I got it through another collector when I had a booth at Frank & Sons. I never sent away for this. And I got this maybe about 3 or 4 years ago when I had my booth at Frank's, and I was able to get it authenticated by one of the representatives that used to work for Mattel. He had a booth there as well at Frank & Sons, and he was able to authenticate it for me before I purchased it. And it's a pretty amazing figure to have as part of my collection because it's very rare, and the mystery and the story behind it is kind of cool. So a little bit more about this figure. First off, I want to give you a little brief history of the Mattel toy line. The toy line of Masters of the Universe toy line was created pretty much out of necessity for Mattel. Back in the early 80s, Mattel decided to pass on the Star Wars toy line. George Lucas came to them and promoted the Star Wars toy line before the movie came out, but they had no faith in the movie. They didn't think it was going to do very well, so they passed on the Star Wars toy line, and like most other toy companies did. And the small company called Kenner, decided to take a chance on it, and they had the most popular and best-selling toy line in the 80s with Star Wars. So all these other companies scrambled to come up with something. So Mattel pretty much invented He-Man and the Masters of the Universe out of necessity. And it paid off for them because it became a huge, huge sensation, and it's still popular today. Very, very rare action figure of the greatest American hero, Ralph Hinckley, as you can see right there. The Greatest American Hero was a really cool TV show back in the early 80s. And when ABC started fishing around for toy companies to carry the toy line, the Greatest American Hero toy line, which they had a whole bunch of stuff planned for the toy line, action figures and play sets and all sorts of stuff like that. When they started shopping around, right around that time, ABC, which I believe it was 1981, it was during the first season that they were shopping around for the company to make the toy line, and there was quite a few companies out there that were really interested. One of them was the Mego Corporation, which was a really big company, action figure company that did all sorts of action figures from all sorts of the different TV shows and movies. They've done everything from superheroes, Marvel superheroes, DC superheroes, and Happy Days figures, Dukes of Hazzard figures, but they mostly specialize on the 8-inch figures, and also the 3.5-inch, what they called pocket figures. very rare and extremely hard to get, hard to find, unproduced, unreleased rocket firing Boba Fett. Look at that in all its glory. With the rocket, with the red missile that launches from his back. This is the J slot version, as you can see. Some of you may or may not know what that is. I'm going to explain it in a minute. His back looks like a J. Okay, I'm going to put this guy down. Was because Kenner had produced this figure, was producing this figure, and in the early 80s, when they were about to release this figure, there was a Battlestar Galactica toy that had a similar rocket missile that launched, and a child choked on that missile, and he ended up passing away, and that caused a huge controversy, and the toy company that came out with that toy got sued, and it was a big deal, and Kenner got spooked and decided they pull the plug on the rocket firing Boba Fett. Action Comics #1, the debut of Superman, as written by Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster. This comic book is the most incredible collectible of all time, because it has demanded the most money of any collectible ever sold. One of these recently sold on eBay. I mean, I'm not so recent, maybe about a year ago or so, sold for over $3 million on eBay. It was absolutely incredible, and it was really the basis of the modern superhero, all the superheroes that we have today. If it wasn't for Superman being created, we wouldn't have Wonder Woman and all the Marvel superheroes. And so what I wanted to do is kind of show you a couple items here that I own, and I wanted to share with you my Action Comics #1. Now, obviously, this isn't the original Action Comics #1 or unoriginal Action Comics #1, because if it was, I would be holding in my hand about $3 or $3.5 million, because it's graded a 9.4. So no, this comic book is worth about $300, and it is a commemorative reprint that was reprinted in 1992 by DC Comics to commemorate the Action Comics #1.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
The next one here is a card that I made a lot of money on. The 2003-2004 Rookie Platinum Medallion LeBron James card. I've done videos on this card before. That the first time I got this card, I pulled it out of a $10 pack, and I ended up selling it for $3,800. And I eventually got it back from a different seller. I ended up buying it for far less than what I sold it for. And then I ended up selling it again for another great amount of money, and then I got another one back. They only made about 100 of these cards, so very, very limited as well. And this is one of his most sought after cards, and one of his most popular cards that they've came out with. They came out with an original Fleer Ultra, then they came out with a gold medallion that's pretty limited, and then the platinum medallion that's extremely rare and limited. So another great rare card to have. The next one is the Upper Decks Signs of Success signature card. LeBron James signature card there. As you can see, his signature. He signed that when he was still very young. His signature has changed a little bit over the years, but to have this original signature from when he was just a kid, he's still in high school. It's pretty crazy. You can see that it's a sticker on the card, so he didn't really handle the card. He signed probably a sheet of stickers, and they put this on the card. When it's an on-card autograph, that makes it even more valuable. But this card's still pretty valuable. There's not very many of them, and it's from his rookie year, and it's autographed. So any LeBron James autographs can be worth a lot of money. So then that brings me to number one, my favorite card, my all-time favorite card, and it is a 3-color patch autograph LeBron James. Pretty much the holy grail of my collection, and the holy grail of almost any LeBron James collection, to have a 3-color patch, game-worn jersey, and an autograph. And this is the kicker, it's numbered to only 50. And this one is number 23 of 50. I don't know if you can see it right there at the bottom. Let me see if I can show you guys right there. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There you go. 23 of 50. LeBron James. Very rare, extremely rare card. A 1 of 1. And what's cool about this card, unlike the other card here, right? This one is an on-card autograph, which means that LeBron had to handle this card. He had to pick this card up and autograph it, right? It's not just a sticker they put on like this one. So it makes this card even more valuable than it is. So by far my favorite card that I own. So the Raspberry Pi. If you haven't heard of the Raspberry Pi, well, it's a great little gaming device. It allows you to take a Raspberry Pi motherboard, and using a software called RetroPie, it allows you to play retro video games using a game emulator and game ROMs. And all you do is hook it up to any television and hook up a little USB controller to it, and you can play all sorts of great videos from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, from the first Ataris that came out all the way to even the PlayStation. It's all sorts of great games. This one here I have is encased. That makes it look like a Nintendo Classic, which is kind of cool, but I also have a Atari 2600, right? And basically what it has is like this one here. It has a Ethernet port and 4 USB ports. You can see it on this one too. It also has an HDMI port and a phone or a AV jack, so you can listen to headphones, and a power port there for the plug-in, and then also an SD card slot, so you can put in the content that you want. A lot of these you can find on eBay or Amazon, and they're already preloaded with a bunch of games, and then you can always download more games on the internet. There's all sorts of ROMs and stuff that you can download, and they're pretty incredible devices for what you get. I know for any retro gaming fan, they're a dream come true, because you can play all sorts of wonderful games on here, and just the sights and sounds of the classic retro games from the 1980s. It's worth it just for that. So and if you ever watching this video and you like my shirt, the Voltron shirt right here, you want one of these shirts, you can get them at www.80stees.com. That's just a great website for 80s and pop culture t-shirts. They have a bunch of really cool stuff. I get most of my shirts from them, and they're just a great website, a great company, and I really recommend them. So if you have a chance, please check it out. It's www.80stees.com. And also check out my eBay page at www.franchiseauctions.com, and my new eBay page too, where I sell higher end items, more expensive items for the high end collector, is Franchise Elite. So if you go search by seller on eBay, you would search for Franchise Elite, and you can take a look at the franchise collection. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and just want to remind you guys that I will be trying to do a new video every week, so please keep checking back, and please, if you like this video, hit the like button, share this video. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers now, so I really appreciate it. It's growing rapidly. Thank you to everybody who watches and likes and shares and subscribes. So I do want to remind you, if you like the content that I bring you, I'm trying to bring you great content each and every week. If you want more content, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell, because what that does next, the little notification bell next to the subscription button, what that does is that that will give you a little notification every time I post a new video. That tells you that I posted the video, so you can just click on it and then watch the video. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you like some of the shirts that I wear on my YouTube videos, please check out www.80stees.com. Great website to buy all these wonderful t-shirts that you see me wearing here on my YouTube channel. So so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time on another great video. Thank you.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You really flipped your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games, we've been with you through all these years. Let's never grow up, keep doing like we did, so you'll always be a Toys R Us kid.
Once a Toys R Us kid,
Always a Toys R Us kid.